promises to the American people. These are campaign promises. Some people are so surprised that we're having strong borders. Well, that's what I've been talking about for a year and a half, strong borders. They're so surprised. Oh, he's having strong borders. Well, that's what I've been talking about to the press and to everybody else. One promise after another, after years of politicians lying to you to get elected.
Continuing now with our lead story, President Trump's 1 hour and 17-minute press conference today. Joining us from Washington, Fox News Sunday anchor Chris Wallace. Before we get to overall impression, you know, Goldberg and I differ. He thinks the president is a bit unhinged. I do not. You say?
Well, look, there were some moments in there that made me uncomfortable when Donald Trump said it would be good politics to blow that Russian spy ship out of the water. I'm not sure that was a great moment for diplomacy, but no, he wasn't unhinged. I think that this was a determined effort by this president, who is by far the best spokesman in his administration, for his administration, to seize the narrative. There's a growing talk here in Washington that there's chaos. You know, you've got John McCain talking about there's disarray in the White House. There have been some real problems. It's not all just a narrative. And this was a president saying, I'm in charge. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to, you know, I'm not going to bend to Washington. Washington's going to have to get used to me.
He was defiant, but in a low-key way. I didn't see any hysteria. And for your submarine analogy, he made that by saying, look, some people would like to see me blow it out of the water, this Russian submarine 30 miles off the U.S. coast in international waters, but I'm not going to do that because I want peace. And then he went into a peace thing. I don't know why that would have made you uncomfortable. I mean, that kind of reassured me he wasn't Dr. Strangelove.
Well, I remember when Ronald Reagan talked about we're going to bomb the Soviet Union in 5 minutes as he was doing a radio check for. I just don't think the president should even talk about that. But no, the fact was that overall, I thought that he was in control. It's his style. It's not, Donald. It's not Barack Obama's, and I'm sure there are a lot of your viewers out there are saying, thank God. And he seized control of the narrative and said, chaos. Heck no, it's running like a smoothly tuned machine.
There's a story in the Washington Post that says General Flynn may have lied to the FBI. It's always couched. And as you know, the president didn't answer John Roberts' direct question about whether he saw a transcript of the phone call. And we haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, whether the president, he implied that his national counsel told him there was nothing wrong in the phone call. That's what the president implied. But the bigger story could be, look, if Flynn did lie to the FBI, you should have known it, blah, 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 blah. So here's the question. He's never going to get a fair shake in most of the national media. He's not. You know it, and I know it.
No, but in the end, and this is why I think you can overstate the importance of this news conference. In the end, what we say, honestly, doesn't matter. And the kind of reviews he gets.
If you hear the same thing every day that he's an evil, incompetent,
in the end, it's going to be
results.
And I think too many White Houses, and when I covered Reagan, I thought this, stop paying attention to us and do your job. And the fact is that if he improves the economy, if he gets tax reform through, if he gets Obamacare repeal and an effective replace through, then it's not going to matter. And conversely, if he doesn't get that stuff through and people's lives don't change, then he could have all the positive press in the world and it isn't going to matter.
Here's what I think you're missing. He has succeeded now in downgrading the press so much, no matter what they say, 50% of the country is not going to believe him. And he did it. He downgraded the credibility of the national media. So now, even if they say something true, most people aren't going to believe it. And that's an advantage to him.
But here's, respectfully, Bill, where I think you're missing the point. He didn't get in trouble. We didn't have all this talk about, is this administration in trouble because of the media? It was because of facts. It's because Mike Flynn lied to the Vice President of the United States. It's because
that wasn't what the media was saying.
His Labor Secretary had not 2, not 3, but 5 strikes against him. It's because the executive order was a mess. So in the end, he's going to rise or fall on the merits of what he accomplishes, not on whether he gets a good or bad press.
All right. Chris Wallace, everybody. And you don't have to be respectful. I mean, you can just
Well, I was saying it
You don't need that
rhetorically.
here, you know. You're an idiot, O'Reilly. Here's where you're wrong. I mean.